All right, you guys. So today we are going to get a special look at the Star Wars The Black Series Hyperreal Darth Vader. So, guys, this is a very, very special item because in a lot of respects, it kind of opens the door discussion on adding a different scale into the Star Wars toy line and what that may do in regards to certain collectors and how they collect, because of course now you're going to be repurchasing, if you are going to be collecting this line, you'll be repurchasing figures that you already have in the 6-inch line and other various scales. So this is more of a review discussion, if you will. So we're going to get a look at this today. We're going to get a look at the box. We're going to pull them out, get a look at the accessories, and then we're also going to do a comparison with the Hot Toys 1/6 scale Darth Vader, and then we're also going to compare it to the 6-inch line. And the reason for that, guys, now of course it's an unfair comparison if you look at the price point and of course accessories and all of that. If you look at it at that standpoint, of course it would be an unfair comparison, but I think it's very important to take a look at what this, adding this particular scale into the Star Wars toy line, what it will do, and again how it will affect how collectors will go about collecting their figures. So guys, let's get a look at the box. Getting you a look at the box, we have Darth Vader in the front with this saber, very cool, Hyperreal Star Wars The Black Series in the upper corner there, Darth Vader at the bottom, and then we also have what is adult. So obviously they are marketing this towards the adult collector, and of course the price point would also give you that indication as well. And then on the side of the box you have a very good look at the figure, really cool. And then it also has a description of some of the talking points of this particular figure and why it separates itself from the Black Series 6-inch line. So it states seamless joints, articulation, invisible. So really cool. So they're letting you know right off the bat that you're not going to be able to see any of the joints that you would see in your 6-inch line. So that is really cool. And of course, you're going to get some really good articulation along with that as well. At the bottom, it states very highly posable. So very cool. And then again, we have Star Wars, the Black Series underneath there, Hyperreal up above. Really cool stuff. So on the back of the box, we get a bit more information on the construction of this particular figure. And guys, I am really impressed by what I'm looking at here. So at the very top there, to the right-hand side, it states highly detailed character likeness. So of course you're going to get some really good character likeness. With Darth Vader, that's not as hard, but there are some specific details in the costume that you need to have precisely right. So, but more of your human face figures, those are the ones that you really need to be careful with when you're talking about likenesses. And then just to the left there, in the knee area, it displays a metallic endoskeleton. So that is absolutely awesome. So I'm assuming you're going to get more support in the joints that would allow you to put the figure in a pose such as this, where he is kneeling, which is very hard to do with the Black Series, obviously. So we will see if this figure is better with that type of articulation. So on this side, pointing towards the cape area, it also states ultra premium textiles. So you're getting really good material on this figure as well. And lastly, on the bottom, you have character inspired accessories. So really, really cool stuff. Star Wars, the Black Series in the upper left corner. In the right corner, you have Hyperreal Hasbro Disney in the bottom right corner. So very, very cool stuff, guys. Then on the other side of the box, guys, you have an open window where you can kind of see the figure on the inside as it is displayed in the box. So that is also a very nice feature, but that is not all with the box, guys. The box has a Velcro, 2 Velcro points on it, and it allows you to open the box up. And if you want to display the figure in the box, you can absolutely do so. So that is really cool. And again, very, very nice feature for this particular figure, guys. So that is very awesome. And then as you can see, you have a couple of depictions of the figure in action poses with a couple of the accessories. Again, we'll get a look at all of that. Darth Vader down there on his stand with his saber, there in his signature pose holding his belt. In the right hand corner, we have Darth Vader as well. And then of course we have the figure on this side. We can see his stand underneath. You have Vader imprinted on the bottom, Darth at the top. Sorry for the glare there on the Darth. And then you have your Hyperreal right there as well, guys. So some really cool stuff in the packaging with your Hyperreal Darth Vader 8-inch figure, guys. Very cool. So guys, we are going to pull him out of the box, get a look at all of the accessories, the articulation, and then we'll get into our comparisons between the 1/6 scale and the 6-inch figure. And we'll discuss this thing and see how it compares to what we've already been collecting, guys. So let's get a look. All right, you guys. So we have him out of the box, and guys, he is really, really cool out of the box, guys. And it's really, really interesting. The texture of the figure itself is more like and I can only think of this one particular toy. The texture or the body of this particular figure feels like a Stretch Armstrong. But the texture of the body on this figure it's really like a very hard rubber. It feels like very solid, and the articulation is it is very you can move it, but it's made to once you get it into a position that it stays in that particular position. So I'm not going to say that the articulation is stiff, but it's definitely you have to move it around to get it where you want it. But once you have it where you want it, it's going to stay there and it will not move out of place. So the articulation is really, really good with this particular figure, guys, just right out of the box, guys. So let's get a closer look at Vader Hyperreal 8-inch Black Series, guys. So getting you a closer look at the figure, again, a very solid figure. There is quite a bit of weight to him. I don't know exactly how much he weighs, but there is some weight there. But the detail is absolutely awesome. The material is very, very nice, as you can see. It's really, really cool, very awesome. There is no wire in the cape to put the cape in any posable position. Just something that I noticed off the bat, not that it was anything that they said that they would have, but that would have been a nice feature to add. And then looking at the features on the chest plate, the boxes on the side, the belt, here at the top, you have the chain across the top. It's really cool. Very, very awesome. The under garment is a bit longer than I would have liked it. It actually comes down past the feet, but I mean, that's no big deal. That's not a deal breaker at all. And then if you look at the legs, it's really cool. The feet, it's awesome, awesome job, guys. Very, very cool. So getting you guys a look at the articulation, and I'm gonna try to do this all in real time without cutting the film, so you can actually see the movements. So getting the arm, so as you can see, it's kind of like, not that it's rough, it's just that you got to kind of really move it a little bit. But for your straight out, you're going to get a straight out as so. You get an elbow bend as so, and he can really go back really, really far. He can sock himself in the face if he needed to. So that's really cool. He can raise his arm pretty far, but because of the shoulder guard, you really don't want to force it. At least I don't, so I'm not going to force that. But there is a really good range. But again, it's like the movements are like moving a stiff piece of plastic, but once you get it in a certain spot, it's going to stay there. It's not going to move. It's not going to move. You know, it's very, very tight holding in regards to the position. There is a twist in the wrist there, so you can twist the wrist and pretty much do it any which way that you choose. Even in the forearm, there is movement there as well. And then Vader is going to go straight out for you like so. So that is really cool. Very, very good. The leg area, he's going to give you a kick out like so. So he gives you a really, really good kick out. He's going to give you a knee bend like so. So that is really cool. Very awesome. Kick out to the side like so. So that is really, really good. Very awesome. The articulation is really, really good with this guy. Your twist is in the thigh. In the ankle area, he's going to go down like so, up like so. And there is a rocker as well. So there is a rocker in the joint, in the ankle joint as well. So that is really, really cool. In the ab, he's going to give you a crunch like so. But that's your ab crunch going frontwards. Goes back about that far. So he's a little limited in that area. Your side to side twist. So again, it's kind of like playing with the Stretch Armstrong a little bit, because he's like just a thick rubber piece, but he does have articulated joints underneath the rubber. Knees, elbows, wrist. It's just a matter of getting the rubber to go along with the joint area. So in the head area, he's going to go down about that far. He looks up about that far, guys. And then you have good range left to right. There is a little bit of the head nod as well. So we're going to get a look at the accessories, starting with the lightsaber. And one of the things I noticed with the lightsaber coming right out of the package is that my lightsaber came a little bit warped, kind of warped to the side a bit. If you look towards the middle, you can kind of see it's warped a little bit. And I guess that's because it is like a plastic molded piece. So It can be manipulated very easily, especially if it's in a certain position for any period of time. But I'm sure if I'm able to heat this up a little bit and straighten it out, it'll be just fine. But there is your look at the saber. And then of course the blade does come out, and you have the hilt there on its own. There is a hook on the belt of Vader where you can put the saber, and that's where his saber would be when it is not in use. So that is very, very cool. And then getting you a look at the additional accessories, there are the different hand positions. So really cool, very, very nice. And then you also have this particular item here, which is kind of like a blast, I guess, that's being stopped by Vader, if I'm guessing, where he can kind of stop the blast. That basically what he did with Han Solo in Empire Strikes Back on Cloud City, where he stops Solo's laser blast. This particular hand position has a little hole in it, and you would insert this little knob right there into the hole. And of course, there you have Vader stopping the blast with his hand. So that's really cool. Very, very awesome stuff right there. Getting you guys a look at Vader with the blast effect, or blast block effect. That is really cool. That is a very, very awesome addition. Really cool addition to your figure. Giving you guys a better look at the hand blocking the blast. Just really, really awesome job. And I really, really think this Hyperreal Vader is absolutely awesome. Absolutely awesome, guys. So when switching the hands out, guys, as you can see, there's a metal knob actually, which is a metal peg that you would put the particular hand position over to get it in place, and then you slide it over the peg to replace the hand, so you can replace the hand that way, guys. Very, very cool. All right, you guys. So we have our 1/6 scale and 6-inch Vader here next to our 8-inch Vader. So you can kind of get an idea of the scale of these guys. So the reason why I am doing this comparison between the three, not particularly in regards to price point, because the price points are very different between all three. Of course, your 6-inch is about 20 bucks. Your Hyperreal is about 80 bucks, depending on where you're purchasing them from or where you live at. And then of course you have your Hot Toys, which depending on what Vader you're getting and what type of accessories, if it's the deluxe or just the regular, can be anywhere from about, I'd say about $250 to $300, again, depending on which version of the character that you are getting. So you have a wide range of price points between the three of them, and depending on where your bracket is in regards to your collection, that's going to dictate which type of figure you're probably going to be chasing after. So I've been collecting the 6-inch and the 1/6 scale ever since I started collecting back in 2015. And I really started with the 6-inch and then graduated to the 1/6 scale, simply because the 1/6 scale provides you with the light up saber. You also get additional light up features in the belt area and the panel. I don't have them lit up at the moment because the batteries are not inserted, but just to give you an idea of the differences and what comes with each particular figure. And then of course, you also get the scale itself. It's just so impressive to have this 1/6 scale figure sitting on your shelf, just because of the mere size of it. And then of course the detail adds to that as well, with the lighting and other features that you get with your Hot Toys figures. And then also in regards to accessories, well, with this particular Vader, this is your episode 5 Vader. This particular Vader comes with the platform from Cloud City, which is really, really cool. So you get really cool accessories to go along with the price point that you're going to be paying for with your Hot Toys figures. And then of course you get awesome articulation as well. And that's basically what it comes down to, is the articulation and what you're really looking for. So when you think about the Hyperreal, which is basically a middle ground market between your 6-inch and your 1/6 scale figure, they're basically targeting those adult collectors who quite don't want to pay for the Hot Toys quality and scale of the 1/6 figures, but want the same type of articulation and attention to detail. Maybe they can do without the light up features, or perhaps Hyperreal will add those light up features in the future, possibly increasing the price of the figure, maybe to go above $100, $150, depending again on what type of market they are able to find with the 8-inch Hyperreal scale. And then of course your 6-inch is your cheap, basically children's toy, but it really is an adult collectible. But if you're just getting started and really don't want to spend a lot of money on your collection, then of course the 6-inch is the perfect line. So the other thing that the Hyperreal brings to the table in regards to discussion is the fact that if you're someone like myself who I'm not quite a completist, because I don't have every single thing in Star Wars, but I do collect quite a few Star Wars items across the board, specifically in figures. I also collect the quarter scale figures as well. I do not have Vader in the quarter scale. Hot Toys does offer a quarter scale Vader that I am currently looking at. It's about $500 for that particular figure. Not sure if I'm gonna be able to pick that guy up, but he is definitely on my radar because I do have a pretty decent quarter scale collection. But again, that would be 4 different scales of figures that I would be collecting. And then of course I'm obviously repeating several different figures. I cannot tell you how many Vaders that I have, not only in the 6-inch scale, but also in the 1/6 scale as well. I have quite a few Vaders in my collection, guys. So just to bring a little discussion to the table with your Hyperreal 8-inch figure, guys, again, it's going to have to find its place in the market. I think there is a market for it, for those collectors who are not quite wanting to pay the Hot Toys price, but still want something very similar in quality. I think the Hyperreal is the exact figure for you. It really does come with quite a few accessories, different hand positions that you would not get in your 6-inch scale. It is also giving you very, very good articulation. So you'll be able to put it in poses that the 6-inch may not be able to do for you. And then of course, the attention to detail is also very, very good as well. Even though with your 6-inch figures, the detail on these have become increasingly better and better. But that would only help the Hyperreal, because you know they would use the same face print technology that they use in the 6-inch for the 8-inch Hyperreal scale. So if again, if you are someone who is not quite into the hot toys, but you're looking for something that's close in quality and maybe a little bit smaller in scale, if space is an issue for you, and believe me, with the 1/6 scale, space will become an issue. I think this is a very, very good figure. I was a little skeptical when when the news first came out about another scale of figure that Hasbro was putting out. But I think there's a certain market for this. Again, not quite the high-end market, but it is a middle level market that I think they're going after. And they might be very successful, especially if collectors get their hands on this guy and really get to feel him in hand. You got to get him in hand. Once you get them in hand, you can feel the difference. Even as compared to the Hot Toys figure, the Hyperreal is a very, very solid figure, guys. So really cool stuff. Very, very cool figure, guys. So there he is, your Hyperreal Black Series Darth Vader 8-inch figure, guys. Let me know what your thoughts are. Did you pick one of these up? Has it been delivered yet? What do you think of him? I think he is really, really cool. I'm not sure if I'm going to continue collecting the 8-inch scale, but I do have the Bespin loop on order. I would like to at least get a companion for this Darth Vader, and then beyond that, I'm not sure if I'll be continuing on with this line, but I am very impressed with this line. I think it is an excellent middle ground between the 1/6 scale and the 6-inch scale figures. If you're looking for something that's a little bit more articulated and definitely better with the detail. So really, really cool stuff, guys. Let me know what your thoughts are. Will you be collecting this particular scale, this particular line of figures, guys? Put those comments down below. Please like and subscribe. And of course, guys, from the Father to the Son to the Obi-Wan Force Ghost. May the Force be with you.